Entrepreneurs aren't born, they're brewed. You are now listening to the Entrepreneur Podcast with your host, Adam McChesney. Let's grow!
Welcome to the Entrepreneur Podcast. I'm your host, Adam McChesney, and I want to thank you for being here today. We are live from Half Coast Studios here in St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you to Half Coast for this amazing setup and sponsoring the show. If you are looking to start your podcast or take your current one to the next level, then you need to come check these guys out. Contact them today for a free consultation. If you're listening, please be sure to subscribe to the show and leave us a 5-star review on Apple. We would love for you to share this on social media by tagging me, and this way we can get this incredible content out to more people. Today is another great episode lined up for you. I've gotten the pleasure of getting to know this guest for well over the past 2 years, as we are both members of the Apex community. The growth from this man over the past 2 years in all areas of his life has been phenomenal. I'm lucky to call him a friend and just grateful to have him in my circle. My guest today is Pedro Meneses. He is a realtor, real estate investor, and is in Airbnb management and is located in Dallas, Texas. Pedro, welcome to the show.
What's up, brother? It is a pleasure to be here, man. That was a hell of an intro, man. I appreciate you for the kind words, brother.
Oh, of course, man. I was thinking back on your old podcast, I was a guest, and I was like, man, that was like 2 years ago. It's been,
yeah.
It's crazy how like all of our lives have changed since then.
You know, man, and that being said, I think we need to bring you back, man, because now it's a whole different story of the podcast. So I would love to have you back in the podcast, man. That's for sure. So
yeah, man.
We're going to make...
Always down, man. The modern beast. I'm always down, man.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, excited to have you on the show, man. Excited to dig into your entrepreneurial story and just your story in general, because it's a phenomenal one. For our guests, as always, we like to compare the journeys of our guests to the entrebrewing process, so that of the beer brewing process. And Pedro, I know, loves a good beer. So I'm excited for that. So we're going to take our guests through this kind of scenario here and kind of different outlines and things like that. So as we get started, we like to start with the history, you know, obviously who you are, what you do, things like that. But we like to start with where you're at right now and then kind of work back in terms of your entrepreneurial journey. So give us the lowdown on who Pedro is.
Man, right now is a crazy season in my life, man, you know, because there's a lot of stuff that is gaining a lot of momentum. As you mentioned at the beginning, man, we have a real estate business going on with my wife. We've been more busy than ever before. We have created some important partnerships in our lives to continue to grow the real estate business. And now we started a company for Airbnb management here in Dallas. He's actually he's the number one realtor in the entire nation. So it is great to partner with people like that, you know, that believes in you and that can see the potential and they're willing to help you grow and really just become filthy rich, you know, but not only about money, you know, also the opportunity to help other people. So, man, I'm in a place in my life right now where I'm getting a lot of opportunities to not only grow my business, but to actually lead other people, whether that's in business or in entrepreneurship or even at church and all that stuff. So it's crazy, man, to see how everything is happening and how a lot of people really are getting impacted by all the crap that sometimes I speak on social media, because you know me, sometimes I don't have a filter, man, but something does inspire people, you know, so I'm doing something right, I guess.
Of course you are, man. Like, and I think that's where, you know, so many people get hung up as they're like, is what I have to share on social media, or is what I'm doing making an impact? And so, you know, I'm sure you're the same way. A lot of people in our circle is like, yes, it's great about the money. Yes, it's great if you get a bunch of exposure, but if you're able to just impact one person and help them overcome something or change their lives, it's all worth it.
Matters, man. And you know, I'm a firm believer of that. And I was having a conversation a couple of weeks ago over a cigar with someone in our network who I didn't know, man, that the first conversation that we had with this person, like almost 3 months ago, over a cigar and a beer, push him to start his own thing, you know, and push him to say, like, screw this, I'm gonna own my own way. Like, he's like, man, you call me a bitch. So I needed to fix myself, so I needed to go hard, and he started doing 75 hard and some other stuff. And now he's gaining a lot of momentum too with his skills inside our network, so it's crazy because those are the little moments that really fulfill you. You know what I mean? Like the other stuff is good, is nice, like the shiny stuff, but it's irrelevant when you have someone in your life that tells you, man, whatever you talk to me, like spoke to my life, and you really helped me change things around, so that's the most powerful thing I ever heard from someone.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's insanely powerful. It's one of those things that at the end of the day, if you give enough back, it will come back tenfold. And everybody knows that, but people are scared to just get started in giving back because they're like, what's in it for me? It's like, you don't understand. Like, we've been doing this now for quite some time. Like, all of these things are just taking strides. And so people rarely ever see, the first year and a half of what we were doing, or 2 years, 3 years. They only see kind of where we're at now. But kind of walk us through, what you were doing before some of the Airbnb management, as you guys were building up your business. I know you guys moved to Texas not too long after I originally had met you guys. So talk to me about your entrepreneurial journey kind of up until then.
Well, man, I think for me, everything started getting serious in entrepreneurship after I met Kayla. As you know, and I'm going to talk about it this here later, but I was an illegal immigrant at some point, so I couldn't do a lot of stuff. And it was not until I met Kayla in 2017 and we started our relationship, we ended up getting married. I was able to recover let's call it my freedom, and be able to do more stuff. So, and even get an LLC, and all that kind of fun stuff. And I think that's where everything started for me in business, mindset and all that stuff, maybe a couple of years before that, but that's where everything started, man. And I think like everybody else at that point, some of the people that were considered influence in 2015, 2017, it was all about lead generation, right? It was all about building funnels and marketing and all that kind of great stuff on social media. And I do have a background in marketing. I went to college for that. I never finished it, by the way, but I did. And so that attracted me to start exploring a little bit about the marketing stuff, and getting more into entrepreneurship. And at that point, man, Apex was all about marketing and lead generation and sales mainly. They have like the tribe and other high level coaching, but at the beginning it was all of that. So that's what I started for me, man. I started, I think one of the first challenges that I had to face was to start writing copy, and man, a lot of people nowadays, they hit me up and it's like, man, I love how you write your posts and all that stuff. Like, man, but it took me a little bit to get there, like I'm still learning. Man, I remember at the beginning, it took me like 2 hours to write a freaking post, because, English is not my first language, right? Mm-hmm. So writing it is another level of difficulty, right? So it took me forever, man, but I just put my head down and went to work and I've been building my skills. And from there, I tried to do marketing for a little bit, man. That I had the marketing brewing company. Everything was looking well until COVID happened. And that's where I had to pivot. I had all this time on my hands because nobody wanted to work at that point. I was actually doing free work for a lot of breweries. I was just like, man, just let me help you. Let me prove this concept. And, but they were all scared, man. That industry got really scared with what happened, and they got hard. They got hit harder than anybody else. Such a small industry. But from there, man, I was already in my mind. It was in the back burner to get my license for real estate because Kayla was in real estate since I met her. And it was in the back burner to join her and start building that part. And I always been attracted to real estate. And also I like the idea of having big commissions, and I know real estate creates more wealth of people than any other industry. So I felt attracted to it. I felt attracted to learn it, man. And in 2020, at the end of 2020, that's when I got my license and joined her into the real estate. And since then, we've been building all this real estate stuff. We've been, that what brought us to connect with people like Brandon, who is our partner now. And now we are pivoting more from, we're not focusing mainly on retail and working with buyers and sellers. We are mainly focusing on working with investors, because it's faster, it's better. There's more opportunity, and there's we are focusing on helping other people and build generational wealth, right? So yeah, it's good to help home buyers, first time home buyers. I love all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. I love all of veteran clients. I have like 6 veteran clients under contract as we record this. So if it's a great feeling, but when you teach other people how to build generational wealth, how to manage, how they can create money through short-term rentals or Airbnbs and all that stuff. And you put all the game plan for somebody so they can generate wealth for their families, for their employees and all that stuff. It's a game changer, man.
Absolutely, man. No, I'm super happy for you and for Kayla, and just to see like the transition of the pivot each and every single time and that next level or that next season of life. So super happy for you guys, man.
Thanks a lot, man.
So talking about, beer ingredients, I know you obviously, ran the brewer or the restaurant marketing, business for a while. Beer ingredients, when good, are the things that make the beer the best, right, man? So what are some things, mainly 3 main ingredients in your entrepreneurial journey that have made you successful?
I know this is going to sound redundant, man, but taking care of my mindset, I think, is the most important thing I have ever done. I'm very, at the beginning, we all talk about mindset and gratitude and all that kind of stuff, but I've been taking it to the next level where even if I'm having a conversation with someone who's bringing like a lot of negativity into my life, I cut it out and walk away. And I don't care if they hit me for the rest of their lives for that, but it is just so important, man, because we all have bad days, and you have experienced that at some point, right? We have a bad day. You don't operate at the same level. You allow all the bullshit to distract you from what you're supposed to be doing, and you don't feel well with yourself. And sometimes it's just small things that you allow in your life, it can be just from watching a random news on social media. I don't follow the news. I try to stay away from it, but sometimes, man, that can just change your entire energy. So I think taking care of my mindset and really, besides the focusing on the gratitude and really just being intentional and being aware of my thoughts, because, man, sometimes we get caught up in so many crap. And sometimes I noticed like 6 months ago, man, that I randomly will start building all this anxiety, and I will feel like mad, and I will just get pissed out of nowhere, And then I realized that it was all the negativity going in the back of my head. So one of the things that I did is like, how can I control this, right? Because it's hard, man. It's the hardest thing you can do to change your mindset, right? I took these index cards, and every time I felt like that, I will stop whatever I was doing, and I will identify the negative thought that was bothering me, and I will write it down. And on the other side of the index card, I will write the opposite, the positive opposite thought about that negative thought that I had. And I have like 20 flashcards, man. I have it on right next to me. They're like next to me on my, like, look, here they are. Like, I'm not lying to you. I keep it in my computer, because sometimes that comes to me, those negative thoughts comes to you, man. So what I do is that I stop and I go through all those index cards that I wrote, and I just focus on the positive thoughts, and that helps me get back on my zone. You know what I mean? Now, the other ingredients, man, is taking care of my health, like the health of my diet. Like, I don't know if you have noticed this, but I mean, I've been doing like a nose to tail diet, pretty much. Like, people say it's carnivore diet, but it's an animal-based diet. And I pretty much remove all processed food and vegetables. I only eat meats, eggs, and things like that. And a lot of fruit, like a shit ton of fruit every single day, because that's my carbs, right? And man, the way I operate, my mental clarity, I don't get fatigue. My body recovers super fast. Like, my diet, I give it to my diet. My goal of lifting 405 pounds in deadlift went from 1 year to crush that goal in 6 months, because how I feel every day, Mm-hmm. And I think the third one, man, it is rest. A lot of people don't rest. We are entrepreneurs, man. That we've all been victims. We want to work 7 hours a week, but that doesn't benefit you, Mm-hmm. So we have gone to a point in our lives, especially in real estate. A lot of people in real estate is this reactive, because I know I need to go show homes, and people wants to see homes on the weekend. No, they're not. Like, if you organize yourself in the right way, man, like, we take Sundays off. Like, how many realtors take Sundays off? Not many, because they think that they need to be working. But man, we have made non-negotiable having a day off so we can rest and we can recover, because when we started doing that, we started making more money and we started operating better instead of being fatigued and tired that you're fighting with your wife. You don't want to talk to nobody. So rest, I will say, is the third and most important ingredient probably.
Man, that would make a great beer right there. Like all those ingredients together.
Hell yeah, man.
That's great, man.
But not an IPA, man, like a lager or pilsner. I'm an old school guy, man. I got tired of IPAs.
Myself as well. So the brewing process, right? The entrepreneurial process, all the stuff that we just talked about, like it doesn't happen overnight, and people want it to happen overnight. So talk about your journey and some of the ups and downs that you came across. Obviously, you mentioned stuff with the marketing, doing that for breweries and things like that. But like, what are some of the other ups and downs that you've came across?
Man, that's a really good question. I've been in this, for me, I identified this journey from the time I moved to the States 10 years ago, almost 10 years ago in December. It's crazy to think that it's been a decade now. But I think, man, some of the most important things that have slowing me down in this process is not being around the right people, because we talk about this all the time, and it's just so powerful. And I know it sounds like a broken record because everybody talks about it in our networks and all that stuff, man. But it is unbelievable what happened when you don't have the right people in your life, And I couldn't get to where I am right now faster, but I was with the wrong people doing the wrong things at the wrong time, And like we always say, is that when you have the right people at the right time, at the right place, the right things start to happening, right? But it was not until I decided to pull myself out of being around the wrong people and start focusing on the hard things that is changing your life and changing your mind, right? And changing your habits, most importantly, that you will not start aligning with the right people in your life. So that was an upside down for a long time, man. Like just being around the right people, having the wrong relationships, like going back over the people that have no interest in getting better in life. It's like, if you surround yourself with 9 idiots, you're the 10th. It is that simple. Or you surround yourself with 10 millionaires, 9 millionaires, you're going to be the 10 millionaire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the things that I consider have changed my life. And that's why I always encourage people, man, that if they have to move somewhere else, they have to leave their town or do it, because that's what really started changing my life. I wouldn't be here if I wouldn't step away from my country. I wouldn't be here if I would have decided to leave my family behind, because they love me. They wanted the best for me, but they were stopping me. They were holding me back, and I had to completely separate myself from them in order for me to just focus on what I needed to focus in my life and find my purpose and doing all that kind of great stuff and start changing my life. That was the pivotal moment in my life that really started changing everything, because sometimes it's your own family. And like I said, man, they're not trying. My parents never tried to harm me. They just wanted the best for me. They were scared that I would make mistakes. I understand that, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to stay where I'm not growing. I need to move. I need to find a different place where I can grow, where I can plant seeds and see the fruits of my hard work and the things that I want to accomplish. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, man. Absolutely. I mean, your story is phenomenal of you just like not just taking a leap of faith, but betting on yourself time and time again, even when the people that are closest to you, the people that love you, that again, aren't doing any harm to you, aren't necessarily allowing you to kind of break out and morph into that person that 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 you can be. So yeah, man, completely agree there. The within the beer brewing process, we obviously have the fermentation. So fermentation, figuring out never usually is the first time a beer has been brewed. Is it always ready, to go to market? But we taste it. We try to figure out exactly what can be better. What's one lesson that you've learned that if you're like, man, I could go back and I could go tell Pedro when he was just getting started, or a new entrepreneur, that would save you years worth of mistakes? What would that be?
Whatever you decide to do, focus on it and don't allow any other thing to distract you from what you want to do, meaning, that I have tried different things. I have failed several times, and even when I started my getting into real estate, I did have distractions. I wanted to start an e-commerce business that is there, is growing, is taken care of by itself. It's fine. But I think as entrepreneurs, man, we try to get involved in so much things that our energy and our focus are going to so many many different directions that you don't accomplish nothing, you know? So if I could give an advice to somebody just getting started, to myself a few years ago, it's like, if you're going to focus on this, go to work to that, just focus on that and forget about everything else, you know? Like, it doesn't matter what it is. You might want to do it. Just focus on it. Finish it first. And when you finish it, when it's running by itself, go and focus on the next thing. And then when you finish that one, go and focus on the next thing. That's what I would recommend.
It's a great lesson. Everybody needs that. We've all been there.
Everybody, man. I see a lot of people recently people that maybe just join Apex or new friends. And it's like, oh, I'm starting my second business. Oh my God, don't do this to yourself. You started the first one, man. Focus on one. I promise you're going to save a lot of headaches.
And money. Trust me, I've been there.
Yeah.
I've been there.
And money. Yeah. We all been there, man. You know, it's just our nature as entrepreneurs. You know, that's my nature, man. That's how I do things. You know, I was like, holy shit, I have a new idea. Let's go, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man. So last thing here, beer distribution. Beer's ready to go to market and sell. What's next for Pedro? I know you got a lot of exciting stuff going on, but what's the future look like?
Well, you know, man, right now, we are trying to build our team for the real estate so we can start delegating things. And hopefully by the end of next year, we want to be out of production when it comes to the real estate part, you know, and then just really focusing in consulting and helping our clients, especially now that we're going to move more towards investors and investments and things like that. Hopefully also by this time next year, man, our goal is to have 100 doors for our Airbnb management company, which everything seems that is moving towards the right direction. But once we get there, it's going to get really, really interesting, you know? So, and then, man, my other goal, once we get there, we get to build this first part and we start having a team and people that can take, so we can just overlook things. My goal is to take the Way of the Modern Beast company to the concept that I wanted to create, that is like having this subscription box and having your beer products or your shaving products, and you can order these fancy ass box and you have your apparel, your cigars, your whiskey. You open that things and smell like men, you know? Yeah, those are like in that order. That's the goal.
That's awesome, man. No, I have no doubt that you guys are going to accomplish that. I have no doubt that you'll accomplish that with the Way of the Modern Beast, man. So Pedro, man, really appreciate you coming on here today. Any last pieces of advice that you would like to share with the audience?
Absolutely, man. You know, I think this is a great time to be alive, regardless of how crazy it is out there. And all I can tell you is that this is the time for you to go as hard as you can, you know? And like I said before, focus on what it is that you want to do right now. Or if you have 2-3 different things, just pick one, the most important thing for you, you know, like the one that you know is going to help you build the other things when the time comes, and just go as hard as you can. Don't slow down. Don't take your foot off the gas, because right now, I've been saying this the whole year, man. This is a year of separation, and we already seeing it in real estate. You know, we're crushing it because half of this industry is giving up, but we're gonna continue to do the work because that's what's gonna separate us. So just go all in, go hard, don't hesitate. Shit's gonna hit the fan sometimes, but that's necessary so you can continue to grow and you can continue to move forward. And you can continue to crush it. You know.
Ah, man, love it. Pedro, where can we find you online, socials, website, things like that?
Very simple, man. Just go to Pedro Meneses. My last name, you spell it MENESES.online, and you pretty much find a link there to all of my social media, real estate business, podcast. Everything is right there in just one place.
Awesome, man. Well, we'll put that in the show notes for our audience. Pedro, man, really appreciate your time as always, and looking forward to hanging out with you here hopefully soon.
Yeah, man. Now you've been talking about beer, man. Now I'm thirsty. And that's not fair because I'm in phase 2 of 75 Hard. So hopefully the next time I see you in Dallas, I'm not doing any of that crazy stuff, and we can grab a cold one, man.
Oh, yeah, man. I look forward to it. And thank you again to our audience for tuning in to today's podcast. Please be sure to subscribe, download, and share our content. Leaving a 5-star review goes a long way. And thank you again to Half Coast Studios. If you're here in St. Louis and looking to start your own podcast, then you seriously need to come check out what they have going on here. We'll see you all next week. And remember, entrepreneurs aren't born, they are brewed.
I'm an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurs on born to prove. Thank you for listening to Entrepreneur Podcast with your host, Adam McChesney.